Being humble, let me get to it. That motivation music. Get control of your life, don't let nobody else do it. Cause we're not gonna have Metro S550s cruising. Feel like you winning on the ground.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. Now, I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you heard something you agree with, you disagree with, you like or you dislike, go ahead, shoot us a quick take on our voicemail line and we'll play it back on our next episode. That number is 219-413-9405. Now, shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code The Run Podcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website. So I don't know about you, but baseball season is here. Playoffs is going strong, and my team, hey man, we might advance. We might get out the first round, not the wild card. The Tigers, 1-1 right now. So, with the Guardians, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I think that next game 3 is played tonight. But definitely go see one of these playoff games. Go to a concert, anything like that. But use that promo code. And also, too, if you're in Cleveland, maybe the Guardians advance, and maybe not. But if they don't, you got the Cleveland Browns to fall back on, right? The Cleveland Browns. Bro, what is happening over there in Cleveland with the Browns? Because I'm telling you, Shedeur Sanders has got to be getting picked on at this point. And honestly, I give it to maybe, let's say, week 7 until Shedeur Sanders is the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. I give it to week 7 because the Browns recently named Dylan Gabriel the starting quarterback after benching Joe Flacco, which is cool. I understand it. You got to make these important moves. I understand the order of the depth chart, which is cool. You got Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders is the third string quarterback. But the insane thing to me, and what's so crazy to me, and I don't know if I can digest this fact here or digest this concept, is I've never in my life seen a third string quarterback get this much attention and be involved this much in media and fans. And it's not even his fault. It's not like he's asking media to come talk to him or asking fans to vouch for him to be a starting quarterback. It's insane because you think of any third string quarterback for your favorite team or your friend's favorite team, I guarantee, go ask anybody who's the third string quarterback of their favorite team. And I promise you, nobody will know who that is because I don't know the third string quarterback of my favorite team. So I know damn well that the Browns having Shedeur Sanders being the topic of the town and the conversation of all conversations, including the Browns, is insane that he's the third string quarterback. That blows my mind. And what's crazy, he hasn't said much about, being third string and all that. He only answers the questions that media asks him. And honestly, I'm shocked at how he's been taking these questions. Considering what he was in college and the way he was answering media questions in college, I did not think he was going to be able to answer certain questions as professionally as he's been able to do and answer from such a level-headed teammate perspective. But his responses have been better than anything I could have possibly imagined him to answer these questions. So, it seems that he understands his role as a third-string quarterback. From his answers, he's been patient, not really throwing shots, nothing like that in terms of, answering these responses. But the one thing that bothers me in the first shot that he took, which I think is completely valid, was against the analyst Rex Ryan. Now, look, man, this is crazy because Rex Ryan called him out and he said some kind of crazy things to Shedeur Sanders, who's a third string quarterback. And in reality, why do you really care that much about a third string quarterback? But that just says a lot about the situation in its own that we care this much about a third string quarterback in the NFL because nobody knows a third string quarterback. Valid. So Rex Ryan, he called him out, and I'm going to just say some of the quotes. I'm going to probably play the audio in the clip online, but I don't even want to take those type of risks right now. But he said, quote, "This kid talks, runs his mouth." Another quote, "Quit being an embarrassment." Another quote, "Get your ass in the front row and study, do all of that." Another quote, "I know the whole league knows." So he was going on a crazy tangent, going on a crazy rant about Shedeur Sanders and the things he's not doing and talking too much about media. So what Shedeur did, he responded and he didn't say a damn thing to the media. He just kept his mouth shut. He moved his mouth when they asked him questions, but he didn't say a single thing. Not a word came out. And honestly, I thought my audio was broken. I thought something was going on with my audio. My phone was tweaking out or whatever. So that's how he responded to this. But now it became an even bigger problem because people are like, why is he being such a a-hole? Why is he doing this? Why is he acting this way? He's behaving this way. It's become even more controversial after someone got mad at him for talking. And then now he doesn't say anything to media and people continue to get mad. So obviously Shedeur can't win there. Can't win there. He can't win. The people upset when he talk, people upset when he don't talk. So either way it goes, he can't win. And I think it was a clever move from him rather than saying something that could have offended the starting quarterback, Dillon Gabriel, or someone else on the team or the defense or whatever it is with the Cleveland Browns. But I put it this way. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes in this facility of team meetings and all the film watching. I don't know what happens, but if play-wise, from what I've seen in clips, from footage of training camp, preseason, all of these different things, Shedeur Sanders, he might be the best quarterback in this locker room. And obviously, we'll find out very soon with Dillon Gabriel being the starting quarterback. Maybe he can move the ball a little more than Joe Flacco because Flacco couldn't move the ball. I was looking at the Browns and the Lions game last week, and it was just a tragedy because what's crazy is the Browns-Lions last week, Browns had multiple opportunities to actually strike and make it a competitive game. The defense kept them in the game, and the defense gave them multiple opportunities to actually make the game competitive and possibly even beat the Lions at one point in the game. But the offense just couldn't move the ball. They couldn't get anything downfield. They couldn't find their skill players to get the ball to. And that's ultimately why I think it was a great decision that Flacco got benched. So maybe Dillon Gabriel is going to be different. For the Browns' sake, hopefully. Hopefully it does work out for them in any type of way, but they have solid offensive pieces. They just have to find a way to get them the ball. This is the biggest issue with the Cleveland Browns. So if Dillon Gabriel is that guy, cool. If he's not, maybe move on to the next person, which would be Shedeur Sanders. But I think at some point, once we continue to see Dillon Gabriel go out there, if he's not good, if he's not shooting it, if he's not knocking lights out as the starting quarterback with the Browns, feeding players the ball and getting the skilled guys the ball, fans are 1,000% going to start lobbying for Shedeur Sanders to be the starter, or at least to give him a shot, considering he was good in training camp, considering Shedeur Sanders was good in preseason, and considering he's been patient and has been answering all these media questions very maturely. So I think at some point the clock is really ticking for Shedeur Sanders to be the starting quarterback, and hey, we'll see what Dillon Gabriel does. But if he messes up, it's over with. You can definitely bet the bank on Shedeur Sanders being the starting quarterback probably by week 7. So, Browns overall, I think they're a mess so far, and they have to come together and figure out some sort of way to make this offense work. And I think it does start at the top of, maybe even just resetting the whole tone. I'm sure Browns fans have been talking about that for a long time, but ultimately what the Browns offense is doing now is, no less than what Jameis Winston was doing last year. Because Jameis Winston, yeah, he had a lot of sacks and he would turn the ball over, but Jameis Winston at least let it fly. He at least gave his players a fighting chance. He at least gave David Njoku a fighting chance to go up and catch a jump ball and to make certain plays on the field. Gave his Jerry Jeudy plays and opportunities to at least catch the ball and make something happen. So the Browns offense, they're not without talent. They have some guys over there who can make plays. They just got to cook up. They got to get a quarterback who can get the ball to the star guys and make something happen. But ultimately, with the whole mess going on back and forth of, Shedeur Sanders doing this, he's not doing that, and it's insane, and it's a joke. It's a joke, man. At this point, it's silly that so many people are frustrated about, he's answering questions from the media. It ain't like he asks. It ain't like he's bringing in his own press people to ask him questions and things like that. So I think it's absolutely ridiculous that no matter what he's doing, he can't win. At this point, he can't win. So I feel, truthfully, I know he's done some stuff in the past, and I don't know what the hell he was doing in interviews or what he's doing behind the scenes. But at least from what we can see, looking at media, the way he's answering questions, the way he played previously early on in a preseason and training camp, it looks like Shedeur Sanders ain't did nothing wrong. So from the outside looking in, it looks like Shedeur Sanders is just being picked on for every little thing that he's doing. That's how I look at it from this situation. So other than that, look, man, we got some more stuff coming up in the show. Some news for the run. Also, too, the Philadelphia Eagles is, man, there might be trouble over there. So we'll talk about them in just a sec. Also, we'll recap some of the MLB scores and all of that stuff as well. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. It's halftime. Oh, man. Had that do-rag on. Had that do-rag on too tight. Feel me? All right. I forgot to get y'all the music. Yeah, I forgot to get the music. Hold on.
We got a great episode for you today on Memory Lane.
This the way to music. It's low-key kind of fire. Should I use it for the news segment? Just use it for the news segment. All right, and news for the run. We got the Tigers and the Guardians. Guardians, man, they down right now. They tied it up. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. Actually, I might. It might be all right. Whatever. Let's do it. All right, man, and news for the run. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the run with me, Manny Wilson. We got some news to cover all the way from the MLB. Playoffs is here in the MLB, so you know what that means. It's getting serious out here. My Tigers are, hey, man, we might move to the next round. We might not, but game 3 in this first wild card matchup is happening today. We're tied with the Guardians 1-1. And we play today, man. I mean, a winner will go on to play the Mariners. So it'll be interesting to see. You got the Red Sox and the Yankees, which is also happening. And that's going to be another good matchup. They're tied 1-1 right now. The winner of this matchup between the Red Sox and the Yankees will go on to play the Blue Jays. Then the Dodgers, they just recently beat the Reds 2-0 in that first wild card matchup. So now they're going to play the Phillies. I think this is going to be a great matchup. Dodgers, Phillies, a series to watch for sure. Padres and the Cubs, hey, they're playing their game 3 today. Padres, they won the previous game, which was game 2. Cubs won the first one, but winner will take all and go on to play the Brewers. So, man, interesting stuff here in the MLB. Obviously, some great matchups coming on, but I really hope, I mean, I've been saying it from the jump. I hope we get a Tigers-Cubs World Series. It was a couple great games in game 2 that we witnessed. I mean, all of the games were honestly great. But I'm really hoping we get a Tigers-Cubs World Series. Guardians, I was pissed at the Guardians yesterday because, dog, that was insane. All the way to the bottom of the 8th, and then just magically, I think it was Rocchio or something like that. Man just started hitting homers. It was frustrating. He hit a homer, and then it just unleashed. They had an insane 8th inning, and that pretty much sealed everything for the Guardians to win that second game. But game 3, winner take all. So we'll see. Other than that, look, NFL stuff we have happening here. And Thursday night football, we have the 49ers versus the Rams. And this should be a great matchup here between these two teams. The Vikings and the Browns will start off on Sunday in England. So they got the early morning game. Then you got the Raiders and the Colts playing each other in Indiana. Giants and the Saints. Cowboys will take on the New York Jets. In Jersey, Broncos versus Eagles. The Dolphins versus the Panthers. Houston Texans versus the Ravens. No Lamar Jackson. He is out with a hamstring injury. Titans versus the Cardinals. Should be a good matchup. It's going to be in Arizona. Titans still looking for their first win. They're 0-4 right now, and there's been some rough play for them. Cardinals are 2-2, so they're looking to build on that and add to that momentum. The Buccaneers and Seahawks will play each other. Now, there's been some talks about the Buccaneers. No Bucky Irvin. There's also Baker Mayfield is dealing with multiple injuries, but he might still play. Last week, there was reports coming out of Baker Mayfield that he had some injuries going on and he was questionable, but he ended up playing in that game against the Eagles and did pretty solid. So I'm sure Baker Mayfield will probably play. The Lions versus the Bengals. Initially, I thought this was going to be a great matchup, but the Bengals have no Joe Burrow, so I'm sure it'll be an absolute snooze fest. Or if you're a Lions fans, it will be a party for you. The Commanders and the Chargers will take on each other. No Jaden Daniels for the Commanders, still out with, I think it was an ankle injury. I have to double check that, but definitely fact check that. But no Jaden Daniels will be playing in this matchup against the Chargers in California. Patriots will play the Bills in this division matchup. Bills are 4-0, so they're looking to go 5-0, and Patriots 2-2. They've been solid on the road so far. They're 1-0, and, you know, of course, the Bills are 3-0 at home, so that doesn't really help their case. But Bills definitely going to win this game here. Then Monday Night Football, we finally just have a regular one slate game for Monday Night Football. Chiefs and Jaguars are going to be playing in Jacksonville, so interesting matchups, but I definitely think the Chiefs will take the dub here and, you know, wrap up the game. Now, however, so some other things happening. As I said, the Philadelphia Eagles are in the news, man. Eagles offense, they got some things going on. So A.J. Brown, man, he's unhappy. The Eagles are 4-0, but he's kind of unhappy. There's a little trouble in paradise here for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I personally understand why A.J. Brown is unhappy, but he said some things on social media, put out a couple cryptic posts. You would just have to look it up. I don't have it here, but he posted some cryptic posts about, you know, not being appreciated and possibly leaving. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, but honestly, I understand why A.J. Brown is unhappy. Like, I get it. And it's not necessarily just A.J. Brown is being a diva because he's not receiving the ball or anything like that. But with him being unhappy about the Eagles' offensive game plan, like, I get it, because the Eagles' offense stinks right now. So how can you not be on A.J. Brown's side of the offense being bad and that they need to try something else and get him the ball? Because they're third from they're bottom 5 in total offensive yard. Third from the last spot. Bottom 5 in total offensive yards. They're bottom 5 in yards per game. The Eagles have the highest 3-and-out rate offensively in the league right now. So if I'm A.J. Brown, I understand everything, all the frustrations that's there, because the Eagles have a certain standard. They have a certain standard that is not bottom 5 in offense of the NFL. That's not bottom 5 in yards per game in the NFL. So I get why A.J. Brown is frustrated about that, especially when you know you're a caliber or a type of player that can add so much to the offense. You can contribute so much to the offense and really help them out. So there I get the whole narrative of, oh, he's being a bad teammate. He's being a diva. Oh, he just wants the touches and they're winning, so he should be okay. I get it. But let's be honest. Yeah, the Eagles had some tough battles so far in the first 4 weeks. They beat some respectable teams, but they weren't necessarily pretty wins. And I get it. Every win is, wins ain't got to be pretty every time. You just got to win a game. So I understand that part. But bottom 5 offensively is not the Eagles standard. And there's probably more frustration in that. But of course, the thing that everybody's going to bring to light is he's not getting the ball and he's being upset because they're not getting the ball. So I get it. Yeah, they're winning. They should be happy about that. But on the flip side, like A.J. Brown being a leader on that team probably wants the Eagles to reach their full potential offensively, which is being explosive, being a team that can beat you in multiple ways, of having big plays, of running the ball, of being able to throw and get the ball downfield, especially when you are wide open at times and you're only getting the bogus routes of slants and things like that, and you're getting overlooked. So, these things do make a difference. And I think the bigger picture here too is, ultimately it's week 4. So it's a lot of room for the team to improve. And it will happen. But it's kind of scary that the Eagles are 4-0 and this offense is bottom 5 right now, because, man, that's scary. This team has beaten some respectable teams with the bottom 5 offense, total yards, and all of these different things. But when they get it together, that's going to be even more scary. Like, they've beaten all playoff teams so far besides the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are still a pretty decent team in the NFL. They're pretty good so far, definitely offensively. So, when the Eagles continuously find ways to win, even though the offense is getting stalled out and not really looking fluid, it says a lot, because once they do get it rolling, if they get it rolling, then they will be a very difficult team to beat. Because right now, a lot of these games that they're winning is because of the defense, because the defense is showing up big and showing up strong, showing up week after week, and actually making things happen. So it'll be interesting to see what happens against the Broncos in this matchup. Now, Broncos is a team, they're also been trying to figure some things out, but above all, this is a team you can beat. Another playoff team. They're 2-2. They haven't really won much on the road, 0-2 on the road. But above all, I see this game here being, in a way, kind of a trap game. Now, the Eagles, they've been focused for the most part. So I don't really want to say they'll end up losing or anything. And they've showed us time after time, week after week, that they can find ways to win. It's just if the offense will actually get rolling, if it will look good. And, I think the whole narrative of, A.J. Brown is, he's not getting targets, so he's upset. That whole narrative is cool. I get it. It's valid. He probably is upset that he's not getting targets. But the bigger picture here and the other factors that go into this matter is the fact that the offense is also not flowing well. The offense is stinking up the place right now. So these things make a huge difference when you talk about players' frustration, especially when you talk about a captain on the team, someone who's already won multiple championships and someone who has a certain standard for the offense on the Eagles. Because I'm going to tell you right now, man, having the highest 3-and-out rate in the NFL is not it. Being almost dead last in total yards in the NFL is not it. Being almost dead last in yards per game is not it. So I understand that A.J. Brown's not getting the ball, but there's a bigger issue here with the Philadelphia Eagles than, A.J. Brown is just not getting targets, so he's upset. No, it seems like A.J. Brown needs to get targets, and if anything, it seems like he has every right to be upset that he's not getting targets, because clearly whatever the hell the Eagles is doing right now is not working at all. So I understand the frustration, and part of me is on A.J. Brown's side of, yeah, you know what? Be vocal about it. Be vocal about how bad the offense is. Who cares if you guys are winning? But we all know, watching games in the NFL, sometimes you win games that you're not supposed to. Sometimes other team loses the game more than you actually win it. So these things are all a factor here, and it's all part of the bigger issue. But AJ Brown, man, I'm actually on his side in this situation. So usually I'm not on the side of receivers crying about not getting the ball. I think to an extent you do have to just be okay with your team winning in certain game plans, certain weeks, because some weeks you might have to run the ball more and things like that. But ultimately, week 4, he had a solid game against the Rams. They threw the ball, obviously, but if one thing ain't working, then you got to go to the next. And it seems like AJ Brown is understanding that, hey, whatever we're trying to do on the offensive end is not working. So we need to go to the next of getting me the ball, getting somebody else the ball, throwing the ball, whatever the case is. So it'll be interesting to see how the Eagles look in week 5 against the Broncos, but I don't know. I'm excited to see what they do. So we'll see. Other than that, look, man, that's all I got for you guys. So I really do appreciate you tuning in, hanging with me. I'm going to leave on a positive note. And a positive note here, it's just going to be, try hard, man. Just try your best. Try your best at whatever you're doing. Try your best at whatever you're doing. And when you think that you gave your best, add a little more. Do the LeBron. Take 2 more. Add some more fire to the fuel and try and crank it up a notch. And then maybe you are giving your best effort after you already tried. And then just take that, keep adding on. So, just keep resetting your best, I guess, if you will. I guess that's the common denominator here is, set the standard. You reach that standard, set the new standard. But it all starts with just trying at first. So you definitely want to just try at whatever it is, you want to do. So I'll leave it at that. Other than that, man, that's all I got for you guys. I really do appreciate it. Follow us on Instagram at The Run Podcast, TikTok at The Run Podcast, YouTube, The Run with Manny Wilson. Search it up. And then other than that, I think that's it. Send it to a cousin, a brother, uncle, niece, nephew, co-worker, friend, family member. Promise you they're not going to mind. Worst case, they just want to listen. And that's cool. It is what it is. But other than that, man, that's all I got for you. So appreciate you tuning in, and we will be back later on next week, and so on and so on and so on.